Welcome to the TNC Random Fandom Podcast. We are here to have fun and talk all things pop culture, collecting, and nerd culture in general. Make sure you join the conversation during our live stream with our most excellent hosts, Craig Borden and Tommy Mock. Let the shenanigans begin.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to TNC Random Fandom. It has been a week or two, so we're back and we're goofing around. We're having a good time. We're going to have all things Harry Potter this evening. With me, my buddy, my best friend, the T to my C. What's going on, Mr. Tommy Mock?
I am doing great. Let's just say it's been a fantastic season so far with the Genesee Country Village and Museum. The dance troupe actually performed both weekends and did outstanding. Plus, I found out that we were part of the St. Patrick's Day Parade, and we got second place. And so,
Nice.
Yeah,
Nice.
So we are now the award-winning dance troupe of the Genesee Country Village and Museum.
Why do I feel like you were looking forward to wearing that merit badge?
Hey. People look at me and they don't see 19th century dance master, you know.
I wouldn't think dance of any kind, but maybe that's just me. So the other T, the other to the C here. Thomas, how the heck are you, buddy? Haven't seen you in a bit.
Good. Just still here with my girlfriend Cammie today to help out with the Harry Potter lore. But yeah, all good here in Columbus.
All right. Well, why don't you introduce Cammie, seeing you got the Harry Potter other expert there with you?
Yeah. No, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm Cammie. I been a Harry Potter fan since the books came out when I was like 6, 7 years old. So, you know, been seen all the movies, read all the books, you know, all the good stuff. So.
And constantly roast me for not knowing any Harry Potter lore.
Haven't seen any of the movies.
Other than the villains and like Harry Potter himself.
Yeah, if it makes you feel better on that one, Thomas, that's 100% why I'm happy being the host this evening. I get to be that person that's passing the football around, because outside of my ex-girlfriend and that million-year-ago breakup, that's about where my Harry Potter ends, about 3 movies in. So on that note, we're good. So on that note, we also have Rachel Kraft with us. How the heck are you? And tell them how you got into being a Harry Potter fan.
Sure, I'm doing great. I think, well, I'm sure it's not every millennial's rite of passage, but if you're like a millennial, borderline Z, zillennial, I think that is just part of the cultural upbringing. And I think it kind of enmeshes itself into your friendships. Like you're almost like keeping score of like, oh, that friend is into it, that friend's not, things like that. And so I think it's just part of the generation and growing up.
Yep. There you go. And Tommy, seeing he's already bearing his wand, tell me how you got into Harry Potter.
I got into Harry Potter kind of like the same way that most people from the Gen X was through the movies and the books. My daughter Jocelyn, that everybody knows, we used to go to the movies at like Christmas time. Her grandmother from her mom's side, we would go and we would actually sit and watch the movie. So that became like a tradition when the Harry Potter movies would come out. So, you know, it's great storytelling, even though some of these stories are pretty much very similar to stories that we already know, like Star Wars maybe, but you know, but we won't go into that world. We won't, but we will definitely talk about the Harry Potter. And I know, Craig, that you are not necessarily the Harry Potter, so this is actually a very good show for you, so you can ask a lot of questions, but I'm going to start this one off.
The one thing I do know is it starts off like every Disney movie, and there's no Harry's got no parents, and all these wonderful things to your Star Wars references and all these other things. But yes, go ahead. Let's play your game, Tommy.
Okay, so there was homework that I gave everybody for this episode, and I know Rachel was already set with this. She, you know, because being the fan that you are, and I'm sure Cammie was already set with this, but maybe not. But this is truly for Craig. So I'm going to go around the board. So Craig, starting with you, when you went on to harrypotter.com, what house did you get sorted in and what is your Patronus?
I'm sorry to say I'm not wearing the right sorting hat, but at least I got put in the Ravenclaw is where it put me. I am a black swan for my Patronus. and my
Black
wand
Swan.
is apparently a redwood wood, because we got to say wood twice, with unicorn hair, and 10-30 and 3/4 inch long with solid.
No flexibility.
There you go. Nothing.
All right, Cammy, how about you?
Goosey,
What house do you in?
So yeah, I'm a Gryffindor, and my Patronus was a Basset Hound, and yeah, and my
Puppies.
wand is Willow Wood Phoenix Feather, 11 3/4 length, slightly yielding, whatever that means, but you know, gives a little, I guess.
I think the wand thing is my favorite thing that I've learned all day today about Harry Potter.
All right, Thomas, you're next.
So I also got Ravenclaw, Craig, because one of my main weaknesses is overthinking, which is so true. My patroness is an owl, wise, observant, thoughtful.
It's Patronus.
Patronus.
Patronus. Leviosa.
and like I mentioned earlier, my wand is walnut with a phoenix feather core and 12.5 inches, slightly springy.
All right, Rachel, you're up next.
Okay, I want to put the disclaimer on this that I did have the OG Pottermore like profile set up, and I have lost accessibility to that, but it was a good opportunity for me to kind of re-go through that process and do the sorting and find out a little bit more in preparation for my debut on a podcast here. So I think historically I have been a Gryffindor with some Ravenclaw traits, I would say, depending on what BuzzFeed quiz you want to take too. But so historically I was a Gryffindor, but now in my 30s, I just turned 30 this year. So in this decade, I have become a Slytherin. So I think that means adulting has got me. So I became a Slytherin, yes, but and obviously we know that there's some notorious lore around Slytherins, but not all bad. And then my Patronus is a fox terrier, so another dog. So we could play Basset Hounds and Fox Terriers. And then my wand was a red oak wood made of dragon heartstring, 12.5 inch, and then quite bendy. So that means that when you're like whipping out spells, I think that you have some flexibility there.
Yeah.
Well, apparently solid is just the opposite, where I'm just apparently stuck in whatever I do.
So I had done one when I was at Universal maybe a couple of years ago, and I ended up as a Ravenclaw, but I didn't take the official like HarryPotter.com, so I did that again. So I ended up being a Gryffindor, and my Patronus is the rattlesnake.
Interesting.
And my wand is maple wood with dragon heartstring core, and it's 13 inches in length, and it's quite bendy as well.
What's the difference between bendy and springy?
Only Ollivander would know that.
I didn't see a key.
All right. So now that we know, so we have two Gryffindors and two Ravenclaws and one Slytherin, but just so you know, Rachel, Karen is also a Slytherin. So
I did know that, and I didn't tell her. So hopefully she watches this, but when she watches this, she will be learning for the first time that I got sorted into Slytherin, because I've not told her yet. So
that's just fun.
Very good. All right, go ahead, Craig. Go ahead. Round
robin.
Robin.
Now that we know where we've been all sorted, this thing, that thing, the universe of Harry Potter is just so deep. Everything is very, very articulated to the point of obviously what we just did with this little exercise here. How key are these elements? Obviously, I know the houses is where they actually live when they're at Hogwarts and all these kind of things. But to that point, the Patronus and the wand, for anybody that might be watching, Rachel, would that be something you would be able to discuss and at least enlighten our casual listeners or muggles like me and Thomas?
Yeah. I think that, like you said, like there's just so many complex details, especially in the books. I think that the movies do what movies do, right? And hit on like the core points and elevate it, change it to make it viewer friendly and more marketable, in that format. But really the books, and I'm a huge audiobook person, so I cannot recommend enough the kind of original audiobooks are the ones that I think were most popular. I have not ventured into there's a full cast of like celebrity cast audiobooks now that have been coming out. So I haven't dove into those yet. But as far as the elements, the key elements, so like houses, definitely, because it is kind of the core of the different rivalries, and also I think the main battle really with the Slytherins getting that where the Slytherins get that bad rap from, and then the core three, Harry, Ron, and Hermione being in Gryffindor. So like I think that those are just like well known. It also brings like the element of sports into it. Like Quidditch is like so only Harry Potter. Like like they play rugby here in Hogwarts. Like they have their own sport, like, and it's all based on house points and how at the end of the year getting the house points, things like that. So there's that kind of column. Patronus, I think, is more character driven. So instead of like the overarching like how to paint a picture of this setting, the Patronuses are very keyed to the characters. And is this a spoiler like podcast? Like, are spoilers okay? Do you give warnings, things like that?
Movies have been out long enough. I think we're okay.
Okay, just want to make sure. You never know.
Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert.
Offline, I will tell a story to you guys offline about. You would think that everyone would have known by now, but I've been to 2 girls' weekends where the same girl has ruined Harry Potter for the same other girl 2 different weekends. So
be honest, it was you, wasn't it?
No, I promise. I would
My
never.
friend.
I'm even taking up time asking about it now because I don't want to hurt anybody in this experience.
Yeah.
But I would say yes. The Patronus, in the end, you really learn about Patronuses being tied to love and like the willingness of people to give up their lives or sacrifice for the people that they love, and that is tied into Harry's mom and her Patronus, his dad and his Patronus, and then kind of the third wheel, Snape, always yearning, the original yearner. And so that I think is a big piece of it. And the wand is also tied into the kind of the prophecy of Harry Potter and Voldemort and how tied they are together too. So I would say that those things are important, but they're so much more developed and kind of like Easter egged throughout the series.
Yeah, that's a beautiful thing because that's what makes a franchise like Harry Potter so special. All these little intricacies and tie-ins and all these things, and it's not just the fact that there's movies. There's 9 movies of the 9 original books. Is that correct? Am I wrong? 8. Damn it! I knew I was going to
7 books.
7 books, 8 movies.
But then they also had the Fantastic Beasts books and movies and stuff too, as well. So, Cammie, that's where I'm going to let you tee off here a little bit. Tell us about just how this world sucked you into it and the amount of immersion and all these wonderful things that you get to talk to all the time, or just nerd out in your own brain, whatever way you want to.
I mean,
take it where you want.
Oh yeah. So like these books came out. Like the first book was released, I think, when I was like 7 or so. Like, and so everyone was really into them. Like everyone was trying to check them out of the library. And so I started having my mom read them to me and my siblings. So, and then, started reading them myself. When I was like 11, I was like wondering like where my letter from Hogwarts was, and I was like really bummed that like I didn't get it. So like I was like, oh, like when you're a kid, you kind of think these might be real. So, but so yeah, I've been around them my whole, like, since they came out, and saw the movies when they came out, and I actually haven't seen like many of the like, the Fantastic Beast movies, or any of the like prequel like movies or anything, spin-off movies, but like, but big, so I've just followed it through. I've seen the movie several times, but
there you go.
yeah.
Now,
You had a thought.
Now, with that being said, Cami, because we talk about the books being, well, I shouldn't say slightly different, because there is a lot of detail in each of these books, and they go into extreme detail, even as to what characters look like. I mean, down to the shoes that they wear, and obviously I'm going to go with Cami and Rachel on this. Tell us one of the biggest glaring differences between the books. It doesn't even matter which movie, which book it is, but one of the biggest glaring details that is different between the book and the movie.
That's a thinker.
I have one
that is a thinker, right?
right to mind, and I think that maybe putting the cart before the horse, because we'll talk about the show coming out next year, or at the end of this year.
We will at some point. Yeah.
But the one that comes to mind for me is SPEW, SPEW, and that is the Society for the Promotion of Elfish Welfare that Hermione starts in, I think it's book 4, that she starts this activist group, and she is constantly getting treated as you would expect by her peers and her classmates, and I think eventually that is what ties her relationship with Ron together and things like that. And so I think sometimes in the movies, like, the love stories get fast forwarded, right? Like, they glossed over because they just can't be part, like, that huge part of the plot during the movies. You only have such limited time. But that would be the one I would say. So she has this entire character arc and journey, and around trying to get equitable wages and treatment of elves, and is really what was the word, like, disenamored by Hogwarts when she finds them working in the kitchens and like not having all of the same privileges as the other magical creatures and things like that. And so I think it's so far away from, I think, the theme of, Harry Potter's the good guy, Dumbledore's the good guy, right? And I like that there is even the good guys, even the societal undertones there is important.
Right,
That's awesome.
Right.
You got anything for us here, Cami?
Yeah, I mean, I think like the books kind of go into more detail. Like, the movies don't really give you like the background of, who created like the Marauders map, like, which was like Harry's dad was part. Like, you don't know that, and like, if you don't read the books, like, you wouldn't know that in the movies necessarily. Like, there's like more of a backstory to that, and then you kind of get just more of a backstory on pretty much everything. And some of the they added things to the movies that weren't in the books, like that, like some of the battles and stuff.
Make it more dramatic. Make it more dramatic.
I'm glad you mentioned that, because there are details that they definitely either completely just take out, because obviously you got to be able to cram a bunch of information into at least a 2-hour long, if not sometimes a 3-hour long movie, but some of those details really should be added to it, like you said, Cami, the Marauders map and who created it and why was it created? It was, now we know, now before we get into it, outside of some,
we gotta let Thomas ask a question here at some point.
Yes, Thomas, you go ahead and ask a question.
I had a pretty natural follow-up. Like, what did they make overly dramatic? Like, you talked about, or I think we've been talking a little bit about some of the action scenes, but like, were those described the same way in the books as they were in the show? And like, the Quidditch, like, was that as dramatic in the books as you see it in the movies, like that kind of stuff? because like for a movie, I feel like you have to be very visual to make a movie, while in a book you can just be like very descriptive, right? Like so.
So Cammy or Rachel, I don't know if either one of you would want to say maybe there's a point that's been exaggerated, or at least to Thomas's point here, dramatized to be put on film.
Yeah, right.
Trying to think.
I feel like
How was Quidditch? Quidditch? I'm really.
I mean, that was
interested
pretty intense. I was like, it's it's a lot of CGI and stuff. They're like flying all over the place. Like Harry's like balancing on his broom. Like,
did they dedicate like a whole chapter, or was it like a couple pages?
I mean, it's like
I think there's multiple. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you couldn't just have him catch the golden snitch and then be like, "Oh, next page done."
Exactly.
Like there's like
one game.
Quidditch started. Harry won.
there's like one point where he like swallows it and like spits it out, right? So
that was actually in the book then. Right?
Yeah, but like you don't like
right
visualize, you don't like see it, but yeah, I guess that's not a difference, but you know, you just like get to see more intense, like.
As somebody that hasn't gotten a chance to read the book, like myself, I have seen that scene, obviously, knowing that was a detail that was actually in the book. It wasn't just pure Hollywood, goofy, making it a slapstick moment. It realizes that the character is a real person when you have those kind of stupid moments in there like that. And I love that about cinema, books, TV, all these kind of things, and just writing, because that is what it really should be. It can't be just Harry Potter is a understandable hero because he is a regular everyday person. That is an extreme, fun, crazy, oh my god adventure, right?
Yeah, I think especially because that's in the first book, right? And so the books in their seriousness grow as the characters grow up too, and so like that happening for his first Quidditch game in his first book, in the movie, I mean, and he catches it in his mouth, swallows it, looks like he's gonna be sick, throws it up, and then fast forward to the end of his journey alone in the woods, he gets the golden snitch as left in Dumbledore's will, and the only way he can open it up is by like a flesh memory. Snitches have flesh memory. That's the really nerding out, but flesh memory.
You're in the right. That's the whole point of the show. The whole point of the show. Nerd out, please.
I guess like what I was thinking about when you were talking about that scene is like, I wonder how predetermined that was, right? So that snitch coming back in the end and carrying so much weight for Harry in his like last moments in his battle. But yeah, just I wonder, as like from a writing perspective, there are other books that I really love that have similar things happen where like you're like, how could this writer have known that was going to be the setup for it, right? And but yeah, so a little off what you were asking, Thomas, about the dramatized. I would say the thing that came to my mind for dramatics was how angsty Harry is in the fifth movie. Like he really is like very dramatic and like petulant almost in the fifth
the way
movie.
You just said that just had me getting like Spider-Man 3 vibes with or he's striking down the street. Don't know why. This is how my brain works.
Yeah, so I would say that is, and maybe that's part of like the quintessential character arc of the developing young adult male coming into all of his power and all of his responsibility, right? But yeah.
There you go. Go ahead, Tommy. You were ready to go with your next thing.
Yep. So outside of other franchises like Star Wars and Star Trek and everything, we only get introduced to like one or two leading, powerful female leads. And the Harry Potter universe, we get a group of strong female characters. Not just Hermione, but we have Professor McGonagall, we have Ginny Weasley, we have, and I know I'm going to screw this up, I can't remember the mother's name, but Mrs. Weasley, so we have a plethora of strong female characters, and I see that as something that is kind of refreshing because you don't necessarily see that in a lot of these other franchises. Do you see yourself in any of these lead female characters, or what character do you think that you really kind of, resemble, or you try to, you think you're more like? Any of you?
I'm like Hermione.
Oh my gosh.
There it is.
Oh my. Okay, you know what? You just need to go into timeout. You need to just walk out the door.
I don't think I've ever heard that pronunciation before.
I could see he was thinking the right thing, and then his tongue.
The gears were going. Just where it's out.
I think it's
The
funny
inversion
because
spell.
Now I just lost my train of thought. But I mean, obviously, I always kind of thought like Hermione was like, I was a little bit like her because she kind of breaks the rules when it like makes sense for her to break the rules. But then, she, sometimes I can be a know-it-all if you, so, but, and I feel like she's she's smart and she kind of saves them in a lot of instances. So if it wasn't for her,
from what
I think,
I've seen.
yeah. But then like Molly Weasley, she's like she's like the matriarch of the family, and she and she's kind of a badass too. So it's like, but
I think Molly Weasley has probably one of the best lines in the movies with "Not my daughter, you bitch." Oh, love that scene. Love that scene.
The Harry Potter movie.
Very Ripley like.
Yeah, that's iconic.
What about you, Rachel?
Yeah, I mean, I think I would be lying to myself if I didn't say, of course, I wanted to be Hermione. Like that was goals. Like
or Hermione. I don't know.
Yeah, no, not her evil twin sister.
She went right where I was thinking.
No, but yeah, I think definitely growing up and seeing a girl who has lots of guy friends. Like I think that was what really resonated with me too. Like I always had guy best friends, and even now, like the guys that I am friends with, I am the one that's saying to them, like, come on, you guys, like, are you being serious right now? And then I still find myself in the same, following along and trying to keep up with them. But yeah, I think definitely Hermione's, her bookishness and her like coming of age is definitely admirable. And, I think we were lucky to have her as a character.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
What do you got next, Tommy?
Well, I've figured somebody else would ask a question, but go ahead. Thomas, do you have a question for us?
How do you pronounce more things? I don't know.
Yeah. Exactly.
Now it's a roast.
Exactly.
Slytherin.
That's okay.
Leviosa.
Yeah. No, honestly, my question. So, like, how about the villain or villains or antagonists of Harry Potter? Because, like, I feel like from like a non-watcher, you just kind of think of Voldemort, but my understanding, it's a little bit more nuanced than that, right? Like the conflict isn't just focused on like one villain. It's more like, there's more nuance to it. And I think that's something I'd want to like, if either of you guys can like maybe talk about that a little bit more, or describe like, I guess what the antagonist is in Harry Potter.
Here we go.
Well, personally, I think that Draco Malfoy is the perfect, like bully bad guy for Harry and
Every
even
school's
for
gotta
Ron.
have that character. It's just how
Right,
it is.
right.
There's
But-
no way
but
of
he-
being well around it.
But he is the quintessential Weasley, not Weasley. Why did I say Weasley? But kind of weasel, kind of bad guy, who wants to just I think I'm better than everybody because I come from the Malfoy family. And, it's just like, okay, well, then he gets kind of showed up almost every single time, But I think outside of like the main bad guy, which is Voldemort, you get a plethora of more of these, side character bad guys like what's her name?
Bellatrix.
Somebody help me out.
Bellatrix.
Yes.
Yep.
Bellatrix Lestrange. I mean, I would not want to meet her in a dark alley. She is a crazy, weird, and she, spoiler alert, met her demise in a very good fashion, going back to Molly Weasley. But
so there's also
yeah.
conflict in between the houses, in between like specific characters. Is that fair?
Well, yeah, like Malfoy hates Harry Potter, too. So,
I feel like I have to stand up for him. Like I don't know. I don't know if you feel like this, Cammy, but like I think that he really is a product of bad parenting.
And like indoctrination too, right? Like they're kind of, you have to be this way. Yeah, I think you might say he's like a little misunderstood, and like in like the times when he could like have like a backbone, like he's always like kind of backing away and like is too afraid to like stand, like actually do anything. So yeah, I think he's kind of like a misunderstood character in a way, but he is like can be like a little shit, I guess. But like he's but yeah, I do agree. He's definitely not as bad as
you could say the same thing about Dudley then, because Dudley is a product of his environment. He was spoiled rotten by his mother and father, and there was a deleted scene in the very last movie that I think actually turned that character completely around for a lot of people if they would have left it in. And that's basically where he says goodbye to Harry in a very touching and loving way, and by basically saying, I don't think you're a waste of space. And he goes on. But I think that Dudley is also one of those characters who is a bad guy to Harry Potter, but he also is misunderstood because he is a product of his environment.
But I love that scene. Like I really love that scene, and his and I also think that, I don't know if this was intentional in the filming version of this, but they make him seem like really like kind of like developmentally stunted a little bit too, and like that he is really under his family and his parents' thumb and has not grown up, even though Harry is 17, 18, making these big life decisions. And so I think that is a really sad piece of it, and it reminded me of the other deleted scene where Malfoy is actually the one that throws Harry the wand when Harry is pretending to be dead and at the final battle of Hogwarts. And one of the deleted scenes is Malfoy throwing the wand to Harry, and that's like the only good thing he can do in that circumstance before he gets taken out again by his parents, like taken away from that scene.
It's almost like the Vader redemption scene where, at the end of Return of the Jedi. Sorry, I had to sneak a Star Wars reference in there.
Couldn't tell from the poster over your left shoulder. So I do have a spin-off question for this one, and it's because, first things first, outside of the world of Harry Potter, I've always loved the actor Alan Rickman, and I loved this character from the beginning of the movies and everything with Professor Snape. First few movies I watched, he's that pushy professor, almost like he's gonna turn into a villain as somebody not knowing the books and all these kind of things. But he just was really that mentor to Harry, from what I saw, as the one that's like, I'm gonna be the one that pushes you to the brink and gets you there, rather than being, like I said, that one that could have probably been a character that even went full evil at some point. But Alan Rickman played that role perfectly, and I love that he had this little almost like where he stole the angel that he was from the movie Clerks, and just dialed it down a little bit
Mm.
and was able to be a good mentor at the end of the day. But I would love to hear what your guys' thoughts are about the late great Alan Rickman that was in this movie, period. So anybody wants to run with that first?
Read the books.
Yeah, read the
books. Read the books.
But like I said,
Or
I thought it
listen.
was a great character. I thought it was a great character, great writing, and then like I said, getting in a classically trained actor
Agreed.
like Alan Rickman was a great decision from them to cast him in that role. So I didn't know if there's anybody that would like to talk about that role that Professor Snape played in Harry Potter's, getting to where you mentioned at the end there, Rachel, where obviously he had to become from the boy to the man that, you know, took care of the big baddie as Voldemort in these movies. No? I give up my hosting chair.
I mean, I'm gonna go first. I mean, I thought it was a great casting, honestly. Like if you've like read the books, and then like he kind of encompassed exactly like what you kind of expected. But yeah, and I think he did a great job. And like the first until you like figure out like what his like actual like goal was, and was really to like protect Harry. Like you actually kind of, you really think he doesn't like him, and you don't really have that back unless you'd read the book before you saw the movies, but you don't know like what his end goal really is. But
those first three movies, when I watched, I was like, I'm waiting for this to turn, and obviously it didn't happen, but it was very crazy to see that without having any reference to your point.
Right.
Yeah. So my understanding was, so he played Snape. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
So Snape was like a really kind of,
and you pronounced it right.
Yeah, I pronounced it right.
Ding, ding, ding.
But yeah, Snape was like a really complex like character, right? Was my understanding. So like having a really good actor, like a classically trained person, was probably what made the character good.
Well, and I will give this, there might have been a little bit of villainy reference from Hans Gruber from Die Hard that was still rubbed on.
Oh yeah.
Because it was the same actor.
Yeah.
Played such a good villain.
Yeah.
I guess maybe I was just expecting it, because it's like, oh yeah, great, you casted him as a villain, right? It's gonna happen eventually. Nope. That's too funny.
So I'm glad that Go ahead, Rachel.
I was just gonna say he's also a villain in Love Actually. If you've ever seen that movie, like a villain.
Him as an actor in his whole career, he played freaking hopscotch with that role, going from good guy to bad guy, or just kind of a dick usually in a lot of his movies. But it's perfect. Well done, Rachel.
So that leads me now into so we've talked about the movies and the books and everything, and now we're going into a new series that's coming out, I believe, on Christmas, or at least December, and basically, from what I understand, is it's supposed to actually follow the books a lot more closely, and if it's a series, obviously, we're going to get more of those details. Though there has been controversy with some of the character choices and the actors that they've chosen, right? But I see people who have gone online and they are talking about this, and they're like, it's not a big deal and everything. Honestly, I don't necessarily care about who's playing the part, as long as they can play the part that is true to the subject matter. So Cammie, what do you think of some of the character choices or the actor choices that they have, and is the controversy really, in your opinion, is it really necessary? I don't think it's
Yeah, I mean, I do know there's a lot of controversy over who they chose to play Snape in the show and some other people, and I feel like it's the same thing that goes with like anything where people get mad like who they cast to play Snow White, and like all like that they cast a black girl to play Ariel and Little Mermaid and all like so I think that people that get frustrated over people playing imaginary like characters aren't real. Like it's like, kind of crazy, but like obviously like the characters are written a certain, they're written a certain way, so there's gonna be those people that like it can't be
Right.
playing this character, but yeah. So I don't think it's a warranted
Outrage.
but like outrage, but
False
because people
outrage.
do the same things like James Bond. They talked about Idris Elba playing James Bond, and
Right.
so that's not possible.
As a James Bond enthusiast, sign me right up for that one right there. So can I see this person interrupt for like 0.2 seconds?
Go ahead.
Because the one I would figure that I hadn't seen the cast list, so I pulled it up. And the one that honestly stands out as a weird cast to me amongst any and all these people is getting John Lithgow to be Dumbledore.
Oh, come on. Okay, first of all, John Lithgow is a classically trained actor. Thank you very much.
Maybe it's because I always picture him in the stupid roles, like he's a complete comedic goofball, like on 30 Rock from the Sun, or Third Rock from the Sun. So maybe that's what it is. I'm picturing that character. Doesn't make sense to me. Go ahead, Rachel, if you want to take that wherever you want.
Yeah. No, but actually, I will say, it's pretty ironic, because you want to hope. Okay, so you want to hope that the people that are so up in arms are up in arms for the right reasons, right? Or like the pure reasons, that they feel really, connected to the characters, and they want to have as close of an experience to what they had when they read the books. Like that's the pure, the optimistic person in me. And then, but my thoughts for people like that is that like you're willing to suspend your disbelief about the entire world that you're in, but not how they're creating it. So I guess that is, where I would leave that, without getting too deep into the other reasons why people might have opinions about that. But I think that is like kind of the shame, and is that your willing suspension of disbelief that is needed to enjoy any fantasy story is also something that you can use to apply to the casting and how stories are accessible to other people, especially a new generation that might be experiencing this.
Yeah, these could be all new stories, like you said, for a whole new generation that hasn't seen this. I know my daughter never really got fully into these, but I know that as soon as it's on TV, she'll probably get fully into them further at the age of 15. But it is what it is, and those are the kind of things that I would be more curious for the collective here. If you were going to start this, if you've read the books, you've only wanted to put this in film to show in some fashion. We've had this discussion with Tommy Thomas and I on the show recently on a couple other things. So Cammie and Rachel, this one's for you. Would you have went the movie avenue, or would you went the TV avenue? Because there's pros and cons to the both. Usually with movies, you quote unquote get a better budget. I think that's drastically shifting in the culture and what we are seeing in film period these days. And TV, you get this wonderful time that you get to have more storytelling. So I would be curious, Rachel, I'll let you kick this one off. What your thoughts are if you were going to start today on where you would take the Harry Potter thing to a movie or to a TV series, and maybe why.
I think it has to be a TV series is my, I don't know, man. I hope that's not a controversy.
I'm hearing you don't want to wait a whole year in between movie release.
No. However, I think that this first season, based on the title, which is the Philosopher's Stone, so much going back to the OG title too, I think that just the first season is the entire first book, which is better than trying to compress it any other way, right? And so we want more. We want all the details. We want.
She
She wants to know about how the elves get treated.
Yes.
She wants to learn all about spew.
Yes. Teach the world about spew. Like that's a hill I'll die on. But yes. I think it's good to have a TV show version. I also think that if you're going to recreate something, like you need to have some differentiating factor, and having it be a TV series is a good way of doing that, and still, being loyal to the fan base and things like that.
Good deal. Cammie, how about you?
Yeah, I'm with that. I definitely think a TV series, just because you'll get a lot more of the detail, and you'll get. I mean, I want to see more Dobby. Honestly, I love Dobby. He's my favorite. But like,
Is Dobby now what?
he's a Hufflepuff.
He's an elf.
I just remember
love
being
it.
about
I
this
love
one.
it.
He's a
I love
creature.
it.
It's a little creature,
But
right?
no, it's like you just get more of that. So yes, he is.
Yep.
No, so.
There you go.
Okay.
I tried to do my
I knew
homework.
that.
I
I
only
knew
got
that
so much
one.
Dobby that I know.
I knew
I couldn't
Thomas's
watch 8 movies
homework.
that quick.
he did his homework. He went to HarryPotter.com, and that's as far as he went.
Exactly. Watch a few clips.
So-
That's why he's got the expert with him.
So I will say this. I do agree, because you can actually, break up each book into a season. So, the Philosopher's Stone could be season 1, and you can actually have, 12 plus episodes that just focus on that book and the character development and everything. So 100%. So now we're going to have to shift gears a little bit, because again, when we do these shows, they are, we get into a topic and we can only get so much. So Rachel, one of the other reasons why we brought you on here is because we had mentioned it in the Harry Potter universe. We have some romance that blossom. We have Ron and Hermione, and they have their kind of back and forth until they eventually become husband and wife. Spoiler alert. And then Harry and Ginny Weasley get together and they become husband and wife. Spoiler alert. And so you had mentioned that you are a fan of what is affectionately known as romantasy or romantic fantasy. Can you tell us a little bit about romantic fantasy and how, and if some of that plays into your love of the Harry Potter universe?
Yeah, absolutely. And I hope your viewers this is not their introduction to it, because I'm not going to do it justice.
Might be a little bit.
But yes, romantasy, like pop culturally, right now, it's romantasy. It's also, if you go to your Barnes and Nobles, they have a table that says romantasy on it. So I didn't just make this up, but yeah, I think that is not uncommon to want to see relationships represented, right, as in the midst of a dystopian novel, right? And so that is like the formula for the romantasy genre, I think, is, just dystopian society, some sort of kingdom in ruins, and also like, different heroines who encounter, of course, these men or women that are there to support them in their battles, and then spending all this time together, they get to know each other as people too. It doesn't matter what species you are. If you're an elf, a fae, a wizard, like, somehow you're always ending up in situations where the sparks are flying. So I think that is something that I enjoy. And again, I think that there's a lot of chatter about it right now, and so it can be diminished a little bit and like kind of looked down upon, like, oh, this is just because it's hot right now, you know what I mean? But I think that
Right.
I think the works and the writings of all these different authors have been around for a long time, right? Lord of the Rings series has quintessential like couples in it, right? And these romantic experiences, and so I think that that's something, again, that bridges the fantasy realm into a more realistic version of a story, and helps readers see themselves maybe in that.
Yeah, it's a wonderful piece of just fan fiction to be able to just talk about your characters and what you got going on, and like you mentioned, Rachel, immerse yourself in that universe a little bit, and kind of like I would say, Tommy, that even falls into a little bit with what some of the cosplayers and stuff that we've had on this. They get a chance to write their own story in the universe, and there you go.
And I guess that, you know, the romantasy actually is kind of, and I even remember reading something that I guess could kind of sort of fall into that. You know, when some of the Star Wars novels came out, which kind of were just what was now considered the expanded universe or legends, you know, Luke Skywalker ended up with a wife named Mara Jade, which, you know, they look at her as legends now, but back in the 90s, that was considered, you know, taboo because Jedi weren't supposed to have wives and girlfriends and such like that. And, you know, Han Solo and Leia, they had, you know, children. And so out of what you've read who do you, I'm trying to find the right words here. What are some of the authors that you are currently reading that you think some of our listeners might be interested in checking out?
Yeah, I think low-hanging fruit is Sarah J. Maas. Like that, you can, I don't know that you can be like on Book Talk or like any type of like book related like social media and not hear her name. So she's the author of the ACOTAR series, Court of Thorns and Roses, and Crescent City. But my very favorite is Throne of Glass, which is, I think, again, like a 7-book series that is like one of those books that they have Easter eggs all throughout and the character development and things like that. And so, and really, really powerful female leads too. And so I would say that when I say low hanging fruit, like I think that she's most well known. And I mean, there's so many different ones. Holly Black is one of them, and Rebecca Yarros, who wrote Iron Flame or the Fourth Wing series. So that's a pretty, I think, popular one right now. I wish I could offer like some more like obscure ones, but I think that those are the ones, like if I'm in every group chat with my friends trying to indoctrinize my friends into Throne of Glass, like that is the gateway drug to the rest of the series.
So, and I'm glad you mentioned that. So I think I might be losing my headphones pretty soon, but real quick, if, you know, you said you're 30 years old or approaching 30 years old.
30, just made it.
So with that being said, are these books approachable for all ages, or are they kind of like, you know, 50 Shades of Grey with elves?
Okay. Now you sound like my husband. Now you sound like my husband. I would say that the Throne of Glass series is probably the closest to young adult. Like I would feel comfortable with, you know, high school age range, like freshmen, you know, reading that, especially if they're progressively reading it through that series, because they're, you know, also getting older. And I think, again, like those books get a little more spicy, as they say. And then, yeah, definitely not recommending ACOTAR to like, not to a middle schooler, like not to a middle schooler. Oh, definitely college students. Please, I hope that the college students know what's going on. But yeah, and I think, honestly, I think it depends on the generation, but like I work with college students, so I know that they're coming in with a lot more knowledge, and I would like them to have maybe some better understandings of like powerful experiences and relationships that they could be having and things like that. So I'm all for women and men and whatever gender identity that you use to follow up with learning about relationships through really healthy ones and books and power and, you know, empowered people.
Yeah,
that's good. That's good. I'm glad because again, you know, the purpose of the show is to open up, fandoms to, everybody, and you're actually introducing us to something that is completely different than a lot of the stuff. Like, we've had cosplayers on, we've had LARPers on the show, we've had people who play Magic
Giant
the
Star Wars
Gathering.
nerds like
and Star Wars nerds like us, but I'm glad that you, and I would love for you to come back on to the show and actually talk to us more about this, because again, we want to introduce these fandoms. We will want to make sure that they're age appropriate for because sometimes we may have, books like Maze Runner, which was a YA book, and they made that into a feature film. And I can see that this genre will eventually become, a movie series. It's only inevitable, right? So getting to the point to where we're actually getting around to ending the show, and I want to circle back to Harry Potter one more time for everybody here. I've had the opportunity. Rachel, you recently had the opportunity. Cammie, have you been to any of the Harry Potter parks yet at Universal or anything like that?
No, I would love to go though.
Yeah, she's been talking about it for years.
Because we moved from Los Angeles, I think, before the one there. So
in the original park, I just know it's where the Jaws ride used to be, which hurts me.
They're actually building an entire Harry Potter theme park in Abu Dhabi, right next to the hotel that I was staying at. So just letting you know right now, on Yaz Island, I believe it's going to open in 2027. They're opening up a Harry Potter theme park. So just so you know, that's on your radar there, Rachel, just in case. But
putting my PTO in right now.
real quick.
Now, you might want to buy a helmet for that travel right now too.
I had my experiences there, and I thought they were really cool. Obviously, Karen and I got our own wands and everything, and so tell us what was your favorite part of the parks? And what did you buy? What were your souvenirs?
Okay. I have my wand because I came prepared. So Hermione's wand. I chose this wand because I actually have a Deathly Hallows tattoo on my back, and traditionally the Deathly Hallows tattoo has the Elder Wand, but when I got it, I was like, I'm getting Hermione's wand, obviously.
I have the Elder
that
wand.
was my first wand ever was Hermione's wand, so that's why I got that one. But as far as rides, if I'm definitely a big ride person. I think that one of the best parts of going to those parks is that every step you take, everywhere you look, you are so immersed in the world of Harry Potter that when you're waiting in line for your ride for 45 minutes, you are looking at all the details, like the Gringotts Bank. You're walking through, you're not even near where you're getting on your seats to get to the ride, but you are walking through Gringotts, and it's incredible how they've been able to recreate those sets and make it feel really hyper realistic. So I think that was the coolest part for sure.
Did you get to ride Hagrid's?
No, I was with your wife, and she doesn't go on.
Well, good. Then I don't feel too bad because I didn't get to go on Hagrid's. Even though I would have gone on it, but the line was 5 hours long.
Yeah, that was another reason.
You did get to go to Epic Universe, and from what I understand, you're in was it 19th century Paris? Or is it Paris in the 1920s, something like that?
Yeah, so it's in the Fantastic Beasts world, which again, I'm not as familiar with that as I am with the main Harry Potter story. If you guys go, don't rush to buy your wand at Ollivander's unless you don't have the restriction of only buying one wand, which I was putting on myself, but because there is a wand shop at Epic Universe that has really like this corny, but like beautiful. Like they are really beautiful. They're not traditional, and it's really cool. Yeah, it's just cool to be there. So I would say that was the only thing I was like, because we did that park last. But I will be going back there for sure and getting myself a wand from there. But yeah, I think brushing up on your Harry Potter and Fantastic Beasts knowledge, whether watching the movie on the plane or whatever it is, like, is really helpful. Yeah.
Good deal.
All right.
I have the silly nerd question that we have to ask before we wrap everything up here, because obviously you see I collect stuff. You know, I've already heard the wands. I've heard these things. There's Harry Potter, everything you can even think of. There's Lego.
I started
sets,
my Lego
the
collection.
wands, there's all of it. So, Cammie, is there anything that you have found, or did you just get like a really like high-end version of the books or something? Is there something that's Harry Potter collectible that's like your treasure of your collection kind of thing?
Yeah, I mean, I have these hard cut like cover books, and yeah, like I have a bunch of like knickknacks and all kinds of stuff. Like it's like all downstairs. So I definitely have a lot of different stuff. So
yeah,
I mean,
I only ask because the collectible thing is one of those things that to me, I look around this room and there's a reason I can't work from home, and it's because of my office here. I get taken to those memories, those movie scenes, those book pieces, whatever it might be, just by looking around. And that's what I think the epitome of all things collecting really is. It takes you to something in here that gets you out of your work day or whatever it might be. So that's why I always like to ask these questions. And go ahead and finish your thought, Thomas, because it sounded like you had something.
No, I was just gonna say, like, Harry Potter is like so ubiquitous now. You could get like little toys and stuff from like Burger King, and like, like you get them in like
have a Happy Meal.
And yeah. So it's like,
but that's pop culture, and that's why we talk about it on this show.
Yeah, exactly.
So, Rachel, I know you showed off your wands, so thank you. But is there anything
I didn't get a robe? I asked. I was like, I expected Karen to tell me that you had your robes on, you had your wands out, you had bags of stuff. You know, you had your Hogwarts luggage.
I did think about it. No, it was Karen. It was doing the most with carrying her checked lightsaber for you on the plane. Like that was amazing. And like I was like, just
what do I do with this?
And it's like not compact. Like it's not like compact at all. And they were like, okay, yeah, well, we'll still check that. Anyways, but no, I didn't get a robe or anything like that. I think I definitely want to go back and explore more. I am looking to develop my like office space myself a little bit more before I dive in. I told Karen I might wear those robes to commencement, but I didn't want to lose my job. But I just wanted to plug that there are these really beautiful illustrated interactive Harry Potter books. Only the first 4 have been created, and the first 3 had been around for a while, and I think the 4th one just came out this past year. And that is like number 1 goals for me when my husband and I are talking about having children. Like when that happens, like I am reading these pop-up beautiful books to my kids, and they will know from the first day that they are going to be fans. So I definitely think that there are ways to incorporate like novelty items and things like that into a more like usable like day-to-day format too.
Perfect.
Awesome.
So Tommy, that's all I got. Is there
That's
anything
all
else?
I got too.
Questions you got? Thomas,
you got anything?
We're good. I learned a lot.
There you go.
Right.
In pronunciation, which I had struggled with too. Just that, for the record, I want now the show's over, I can say that.
So, Cammie, now that you've been on the show once, we're expecting you to be on the show every single time now.
For sure, I will.
Oh God.
Now,
I don't know how to pronounce things though. So.
There's a whole universe.
Dictionary.
There's a whole universe.
I'm sure there's a book somewhere that's like how to pronounce like every name, everything.
Yes.
It's a Google search.
As I say, I do that for baseball all the time because I never know how to pronounce half of the people's names unless they're, English or Spanish are usually my two easy ones. But there's some ones that are just from every country on the face of the earth at this point. I'm glad that the internet knows pronunciation a lot better than I do.
Thomas, in your defense, though, I get tongue-tied a lot. So even when I'm doing stuff with the dance troupe and I have to be all P.T. Barnum and stuff, sometimes it just comes out so by all means. But this is the last part of the show where if you have any type of shameless self-promotion, anything that you want to put out there, if you got something that socials or whatever, by all means, this is your time to shine. So Cammie, you got anything to promote?
Or anything you should want people to run out and buy from Harry Potter?
Yes.
I mean, I just think everyone should watch the movies.
Yeah,
Thomas.
absolutely.
Why is there this elbow hitting you right in the chest?
He's had weeks to watch these.
I think everyone should watch the movies. Like I think his whole thing is just like, he's like, I'm too old now or whatever. And I'm like, I don't think you need to be a certain age. It's fun to kind of put yourself in the world.
Never too old to be a geek.
Yeah, absolutely.
Exactly. There's always something new and fun.
Yeah, but
or be the guinea pig and don't watch the movies or read the books and watch the show, and then you can tell us.
Rachel,
that would be awesome.
I had in mind was start with the new show.
And it'd be such a different experience than anybody else.
Yeah, especially if it's like we were talking about, where the first season's really the first book. You can watch the first season, watch the first movie.
Exactly.
And
or read
the first book, and then you can
see now
compare
that
and contrast.
a huge commitment, and I don't know if I'm. That's
got you, Cammie. We're gonna get them in. Yeah, I'll do.
What about you, Rachel? What do you got? You got any thing to self-promote?
I don't have any self-promotion right now that I need to do. I would just say, promoting reading and diving into fantasy worlds as our real world gets crazier. So I think that is a really good way of ending things. But yeah, I just promote, engaging in fantasy and learning more about different worlds.
Awesome.
There you go.
Good to go. You know what? I'll go ahead and throw mine out there because I know you probably got. You're going to want to talk about your 25% off there, guy. So real quick, as everybody knows, I am the current dance master of the Flint Hill Dance Troupe, the premier dance troupe of the Genesee Country Village and Museum, and we have performances coming up. We just finished our Maple Sugar Festival, and our performances were fantastic. Like I said earlier in the show, we were a part of the St. Patrick's Day Parade, and we took our Genesee Country Village and Museum took second place, which was also we were a part of, which was awesome. And but we have more shows coming up. And again, if you've ever had an or wanted to try 19th century dance, please come and see us on the first and third Tuesday of every month. We meet at the meeting center at Genesee Country Village and Museum. See, I say that really fast, so everybody is kind of like subliminal messaging. So anyways, but please come and check us out. If not, go ahead and just send me your email address in a DM, and we will email you our schedule when we're performing and when we're practicing, and would love to see you and come out and try it. It's fun, and we're just a bunch of people who dress up in 19th century clothing and dance, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, that's all I got for now. So go ahead. Hit it, Craigie.
All right. So I just got back from sunny Dunedin, Florida, and came back to winter here in Rochester, New York. So I was down there for spring training Blue Jays baseball as part of Random Fandom Productions. My other show that we do is all things Toronto Blue Jays. One of the many things, I interviewed the mayor while I was down there for the city of Dunedin, and I also met up with my friend that makes these wonderful baseball bat mugs. This is literally a baseball bat knob off the top that he laser etches a really cool brand on, and this has got the 50th anniversary Toronto Blue Jays logo, and I was one of the first people in the world to have one of these the other day. So that's what that's just below my name. It was me, the owner of the place, my friend Chris, and then the Toronto Blue Jays manager was gifted these the same day I was gifted this one. And
That's awesome.
like I said, the link below is 25% off for the whole website. And they make some really, really cool made in America baseball and other items. If you wanted to get a picture of you put on one of these, they can even do that kind of a thing too for the same price as just buying this one. So check that out. Dugoutmugs.com/birdwatching gives you a 25% off discount. So that's all I got. Thank you very much, everybody. Appreciate all of you. Thank you, Cammie and Rachel, for joining us to talk all things Harry Potter. Make sure you check out everything that we do here on TNC Random Fandom, and we're going to just keep having more nerdy things. Tommy, who was our next guest?
Well, so it depends on if we want to, but our next guest, I have to nail it down, but I'm going to get a e-race driver that I met when I was in Abu Dhabi. He actually was one of my students, and I am going to have him on, and we are going to talk all things e-racing. He is a sponsored e-racer, and yeah, he's got his own rig and everything, and you can follow him on Instagram. But I will. I don't want to commit to that yet because I want to make sure
you had that all ironed out. I'm sorry I did that because the other show I was thinking because it is April, and this is the we have I have a lot of friends, family, all these wonderful people that watch the show and everything. It is almost WrestleMania. So there's always something going on there on that avenue. Completely opposite end of the spectrum of nerdy from Harry Potter, but that is what it is.
But I do got two episodes that I'm lining up my guest for. But one is a Lego / Star Wars related one, and then obviously e-racing. But I do have contact with my friend Gerard, who is the e-racer, and I will lock that down. And once we have that locked down, I will we'll post it. All so again,
and that will be 2 weeks from today as a recording on Sunday, the 29th of March. That will be 4/12 will be that next episode that we'll be shooting for everybody. So talk to you soon, and thank you very much again, everybody. And as always, have fun nerding out. Cheers.
Good night, everybody.
Cheers.